Okay, so for homework today, your job is to read or listen to this story, Who Wrote the U.S. Constitution by Candace Ransom. However, as you are listening or reading today, it is an expository text, which means it's giving you lots and lots of information about a topic. Sometimes these type of stories are more difficult to understand. So as you're reading today, I actually want you to go ahead and take some notes. These don't have to be detailed notes, but I want you to write a couple of details from each of these sections. So as you notice, expository texts have different headings. So for example, this heading is a new plan. If I scroll, I have a new heading called Separation of Powers. If I scroll again, that's still the same topic. Now I have the Great Compromise. If I scroll again, it's the same, the Great Compromise. And then I have of and for the people. So because it's informational text, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to read and harder to understand. So I'm going to suggest, and I want you to create some notes. So as you're reading each of these different sections, you're going to take some notes about things that you learned from this section. So here's the story, Who Wrote the U.S. Constitution? So you're going to set up your notes like so. The title of the story is Who Wrote the U.S. Constitution? Then you have 2 column notes. Here's going to be your heading. There's 4 different headings. And then key details. So if I go look again, so after I set this up, Who Wrote the U.S. Constitution, heading, key details. If you need to push pause on this video while you do this, push pause. But I'm going to show you. So I'm going to come back up here. This is just a short introduction. And my first heading is called A New Plan. So that's what I'm going to write on my notes. So under heading, I would write A New Plan. And then as I'm reading, as I'm listening, I'm going to write some different key details that I get from that section. When I'm done, I draw the line and I continue. My next section is Separation of Powers. So now I'm going to go write that on my notes. Separation of powers. And as I'm reading or as I'm listening, I jot down some ideas. When I'm done with that section, I draw a line and I go back. My next heading, this is continued separation of powers. My next one is the Great Compromise. So again, I come back and I write the Great Compromise. I add my details from that section. I draw my line. And as I saw earlier, I have one more heading. Of and for the people. So on my notes, I write of and for the people. And then I write my details as I'm reading. So when you're done with these notes, that means that you read or listened to the whole story and you have some of these key details and key facts so that you're ready to discuss tomorrow during our group work.